Oh, it's 10:59.
Okay.
We'll wait for 1 minute.
Get all the giggles out. I did the entire time.
Okay, it's 11.
Good morning, everyone.
So usually Mandy is the one hosting these, but she is adventuring in the mountains right now. So Liz and I are going to teach you guys how to make a unicorn flower arrangement. And it's going to be so fun. I'm Holly, and you've probably talked to me on the phone a lot or ordered flowers through me. I've been here for like a year and a half, and my husband's band is playing in the background. So Portraits Music, if you want to check them out. Shameless plug. Go ahead, Liz.
I'm Liz, and I'm the wedding designer at Bloomhouse. Been here for about 6 months, and I'm super happy to be here with you guys today. We're going to have a lot of fun with this workshop, and let's just jump right in.
Let's do it. Okay.
So what you should have in your packet is the container that we're going to be using. It's just a kind of small little plastic bowl.
Yep.
Your unicorn kit that consists of a horn, of course.
Yep. Sorry if this packaging is really loud.
The 2 little ears. And the little eyelashes that we're going to be attaching to the bowl here.
Yeah.
Oops, I should get this
And I think these were actually supposed to be like cake toppers, so I don't know what this straw is for, but you can put it in
That is a good
there
question.
if you want. But we're not going to use it, so you can just use that for your disposable straw.
Yes. And you should also have your piece of Oasis. So we've had our soaking. So if you haven't gotten to that part yet, you can just go ahead and run and put it in some water for a little bit. And then always make sure to put a little bit more water in your container, because sometimes it doesn't get a full chance to soak, and then that will just keep the flowers alive longer.
Yeah. And we'll show you how to cut it and everything in a second.
And then your bundle of flowers. So pretty this week. So bright and happy.
I'm gonna have to make some space.
Yes. If you want to just pull them out, and I'll leave mine in here.
Okay.
You just want to.
Sure. So yeah, so you should have your little shears or scissors too in front of you, and then also a knife for whenever we're gonna cut the Oasis. So you can just cut the binding wire off, put it on the floor or wherever. So the first thing, you should have wax flower. Do you have any fun facts about wax flower?
I actually did look it up today, and they are in the myrtle family, which I don't know if there's some of you that have had experience with myrtle. It's a lot of times it's in topiaries. It's a really bright green, but it has the exact same scent. So I just thought that was cool, and it's also it's all from Australia. That's where they grow it, and you can also, it's an oil producing flower. So it's crushed up in perfume.
And it smells like lemon.
It does.
So nice.
Yes, it's very clean scent.
Yeah, I love it.
Me too.
Okay, next thing is we have, which is something that we've used in, I think, almost probably all of our workshops, is the nice little pink spray rose.
They're so easy to work with.
So easy and so fun to just fill your arrangement with it. Then be careful, because these roses have some thorns, but we'll take those off. So these pink Hermosa roses?
Those are Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd. Gorge. And then we should have this green trick, which is so fun, which is also part of the carnation family.
That's
You can kind of see their stems because you have some carnations in here too. Their stems kind of look the same. And then carnations, which these ones are super fun. They are like an antique kind of color, almost like, I think their technical term is like terracotta coloring. They're really fun. There's actually so many like cool colors and like varieties of carnations. A lot of people, I think, like write them off, but they're awesome.
They've really come back in trend, and people kind of always associate them with being a inexpensive kind of grocery store flower.
Yeah.
But they've come up with so many interesting colors, and they actually have become super trendy. All the, celebrity florists and the New York florists are always incorporating them into their design, mainly because of their insane color varieties.
Yeah.
I mean, they're every color of the rainbow.
Yeah.
So
And they're so cool. And then the last thing is you should just have some seeded eucalyptus green, which also I don't know, but should, if you squeeze the leaves, smell really good. Not as much as like a baby eucalyptus or like something, but still in the eucalyptus family, so it still smells really good. Okay, do you want to get started on everything? So I'm just gonna, because we have limited space, I'm gonna put these back down here while we do the rest of the stuff.
Okay, so first we'll get our soaked foam. And this is kind of a unique shape. Usually we have pretty easy
Squares.
Yeah, squares or easy cylinders, but sometimes it's easier to cut your foam in half right at this line in the center. You'll see, it's kind of if you cut it directly in half right there.
It's so fun to cut.
It is. It's so satisfying. And then I think what might be easiest is if we kind of shave the four corners down.
Yeah, you can kind of like, I like to like measure it on the thing. That way I kind of like can see, but Liz is like really good at everything. Flowers, so she just eyes it.
And then if you have to kind of cut it down just a tad so it's not going over the lip of the container.
And just clean it up a little bit.
Okay, our container is all ready to go. Now we're going to clean the flowers and get them ready for designing. What's this one? Okay.
Flowers love to be friends with each other.
They love to tangle.
Okay. So while Liz opens up her bundle, I can kind of go through starting to clean the roses. So like I said, they have thorns on them, but you can really just like stick your thumb kind of like behind it like this and just pluck it right off. That way you don't really have to worry about it, but we are gonna cut them pretty short. So, and then just take your leaves off, and then you can kind of see like those kind of like curved down petals. Those are called the guard petals, which Mandy has gone over with you guys a couple of times, but for new people. And those are super easy to just pluck off too. So we will clean these roses and give you guys some time to clean your roses, and then we'll go over the next one.
Another fun thing that we do sometimes in the floral business is if we want our roses to open really, really big, we'll just give them a little spin and they start to kind of blow open. You don't have to do this, but if you want to just experiment with it, it's really fun.
Yeah. You can also blow into the center of them too. Kind of aggressively, and they should open. So yeah, we'll just keep cleaning.
We always make a pretty big mess, but we clean it up.
Yeah, it's kind of part of the fun.
Yes. Professional mess makers.
Exactly. Karen loves it.
This is probably one of my favorite pink roses. It just has such a big head, and it actually is pretty fragrant. Most standard roses aren't as fragrant as the garden roses, and that's just because once they kind of use them for commercial purposes, they overproduce them, and then their fragrance is kind of diminished. But this one, it still has a little bit of fragrance, which is really nice.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, next we'll do our pink Mayolica spray roses. And what I love about these spray roses too is as soon as they kind of are cut, they just pop open, almost like a garden rose. They kind of have that cabbage head, and which just makes them super easy to work with and super pretty too.
Yeah, and you pretty much clean these the exact same way as your regular rose. Their petals are really tiny, so I don't really like to pick off their petals as much. Only if they're like looking really bad, will I kind of pick them off.
Yeah, it's kind of part of their charm too.
See, like, they're cute. I love them. And if you have one that's like this, like where it doesn't have a bloom, then just like a random stick, you can kind of just take that off too, as like a leaf.
Okay. So for your carnations next, there's not a whole lot of cleaning, but you can take these little wispy greens off because they'll just get in the way of your stem being pushed into the foam. The other thing you can do with these is just push their petals down to give them a more traditional rounded shape. We're always trying to make our flowers look bigger so that they take up more space in arrangements because it makes them look fuller and prettier.
Liz, what's your favorite flower?
That is a really hard question. I have so many favorites.
What's your favorite variety?
I love poppies. Poppies, I feel like, are so striking. Every time they're in a bouquet, it's kind of all I stare at. But I also love hellebores, which are also called a Lenten rose, and they kind of bell on the stem. But those are also just so gorgeous. Those are kind of my top two contenders right now. What about you?
I love garden roses so much because they smell so good. And I just love their little like spiral in the middle. And then like those David Austin ones have like that like kind of frame around the edge. I love that. And I just love how they smell so good. It used to be a peony before I worked at a flower shop, and I saw these like incredible garden roses, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need those in my life.
They are so fun, and they have so much personality. They're all really unique, and I actually found out recently that there is a David Austin rose farm that the public can go to in Tyler, Texas. We have family over there, so we're planning a trip because I would love.
Oh my gosh, I want to go.
Yeah, one of my favorite memories of being when I was in Portland was the Rose Gardens, the city of roses, and just having fields and fields of garden roses. It was like the scent is wafting everywhere, and it's just incredible.
It's amazing. If you haven't smelled a garden rose, you should do that.
Yes, come to our shop.
Yeah, that too. So then whenever we're going to clean the green trick, you can kind of do the exact same thing as you did with the carnations. Just take off the little leaves, I guess. And then green trick is really fun. It kind of reminds me of the Lorax.
Totally Dr. Seuss.
Totally.
Be careful though, because they are really top heavy and they can break.
Yeah.
But if they do, normally you can just, if they break up here, you can just usually use that.
And like a lower part, and we can show you how to do that too.
Yeah, they're super hardy.
One of mine. And then as far as the wax flower goes, it's pretty, you were just gonna use like little pieces of it. So you don't have to clean it up a lot, but the little pieces that you do, if you wanna like kind of just already start like prepping some little pieces that you wanna use with like really pretty blooms on top, like I probably wouldn't use the rest of that. And these are actually really easy to get the green off. You can just like go like that. Voila. So you can start doing that. And if you want, you can take one little leaf or flower and then crush it between your fingers and smell it. And it smells so good.
So good. And we mixed 2 different colors in with a lot of the bundles. So hopefully you'll get some pink and purple or white and purple. Wax flower is one of those things that just comes pretty in all its colors.
Yeah.
And then with the greenery, you can kind of do the same thing with the wax flower. I usually like to pick out stems that I think will look nice in the arrangement and then cut them like that. So for example, right here, I'm just gonna cut it right here and strip the greenery off and make a little pile of greens. Right here I can snip.
Yeah, and something that Mandy actually taught me whenever I first started working here is, I don't know if she's mentioned this before in videos, I'm sure she has, but like if you want to only use like a portion of this to like see where it kind of like connects and makes that Y, is to like cut it at that natural angle so it doesn't look like you cut it. Basically, it looks like it like naturally grew that way, which is something I probably wouldn't have thought of unless Mandy would have told me that. So fun fact.
And see here, it kind of splits off. So that's a good place to cut it because then you get 2 pieces out of one.
Yeah, you can get so many pieces out of one stem of greenery, which is a lot of times why you don't need a ton of stems of greenery, because you can get like 5 or 6 out of one stem depending on how big you need it to be.
And it's fun with the eucalyptus. The seeds look a little different all year round. Like right now in the summer, they're a little bit smaller, but in the wintertime, they are almost like little balls and berries hanging off of it.
So
they get so big.
So pretty. I love it when it's like that.
Me too. And they're more kind of silvery.
Yeah.
It just seems like the plants are more suited for Christmas.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait for Christmas right now.
It does sound so fun. You probably won't need all the greenery, so don't feel like you need to finish it all, but yeah. And you can always do it as you go too. Yeah.
I wish you guys could see this pile at our feet right now. It's so funny.
So I think it'll probably be easier if we do, I'm sure on the video you saw the little eyelashes. I think we should probably do that after wipe down our container, just because if it gets wet, it might not stick.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking too. Yeah, we'll do all of our little unicorn guys at the end. I'm just gonna stick it in my extra places.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Okay. I hope everybody's having coffee right now, because
yes, we love coffee from Spotted Deer.
we do. Okay, Liz.
Shall we start?
Tell me how to start.
Okay. In floral design, we always take our largest mass flowers to start with, because they kind of determine the shape for the arrangement. And I also made one of these the other day for a friend. And it's kind of important that the flowers aren't too big. Otherwise, the unicorn kind of loses its head
Yeah.
in a way.
Gives it like a huge forehead.
Yes. So I think it's important to kind of keep it closer to your vase in order for you really to see the unicorn.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with a rose in the front.
Is it going to be like longer or shorter, this one?
This one's going to be pretty short to the container.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get him kind of far down.
Cool.
And then we'll kind of make a triangle with our roses. I'm going to spin this one a little bit too.
I have like a hard time with the spinning because I feel like it like always
It sometimes can rip the petals
blows off the petals, but sometimes I've done it and it's been like really awesome. So I would say we're cutting them probably to have like, I don't know, a 2.5 inch stem, I would say.
And like always, you always kind of put your fingers close to the end of the stem and gradually push it through. The roses are pretty hardy and they don't need a lot of tender care as you go in. Okay, so I have a little triangle set up here now. And now we can move on to our next flower, which is the Trichdianthus. Trichylium dianthus is the Latin name.
Ooh, wow. And I think it's good to like kind of keep these ones like a little closer to the bottom and then to like fill in between your triangles and make like a new triangle. It's kind of what I think about. And look at this guy. He's like the biggest thing I've ever seen.
And I don't know if you guys have ever seen Sweet William. It's almost looks like exactly like this, but there's little flower petals that grow on top.
Oh,
So they're all part of the carnation family, which is pretty cool. So I'm gonna come over here, bring him all the way down.
yeah, and these kind of vary in sizes, as you can see. Like this one is huge, so I kind of put it toward the back because I don't want it to like totally take over my whole front of the unicorn. But yeah, they just vary in size so much. It's kind of fun, actually.
Okay. Is everyone feeling good about their 2 triangles?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good.
Okay. So next we'll come in with our carnations, and I'm gonna get a center point for him so that you can keep this one a little bit longer. We don't want him to come up too tall because we still want to be able to see the horns and the ears really well. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're designing. And you can always switch things around after. The foam is really forgiving. As long as you make a new hole with the flowers, you can kind of adjust it as you need to.
Yeah.
And another thing that we do a lot here is the turning method, where after you place a flower into the foam, just give it a little turn, and that kind of allows your arrangements to be evenly proportioned and spread out.
Yeah. It's actually, we have a little turntable in the back, and it's
Lazy
the best.
Susan.
Yeah. It's the best.
It is the best.
It's a turntable like we're DJs or something.
I know. One of my florist friends introduced me to one, and I could never go back afterward. I completely love them.
Yeah.
I love them too. I always forget about it. Okay, so we're just gonna keep up with our carnations.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm like not as thoughtful as you are when I place like stuff. I just like find holes and I fill them.
And that's fine too. I mean, this kind of design allows for
Yeah.
a little bit more of a looser structure. Okay, so then we're gonna take our spray roses.
And spray roses are cool, and I really like designing with them because like you don't have to keep it like this. Like you could take this guy off, who's like the longest one, and like use him somewhere else, or like place it in a different spot, or like keep it at the same height or whatever. So you're really free to use them however you want.
Yeah, it's nice to keep them in clusters because they do look really pretty like that. But if you have one straggler, like Holly said, sometimes you can make your own cluster.
Yeah.
That way you're not using any of your flowers. And spray roses I always kind of like to keep slightly above the regular roses, just because it seems like that's more how they would be natural in a garden per se. They would have a little bit more height to them, or kind of spring out from out the other flowers. You don't want to kind of crush them too much.
Yeah. I'm doing okay.
Yeah, looks great.
My unicorn. We should all name our unicorn.
We should. Okay, so next we can do our wax flowers. And this one, you're gonna really wanna be distributing kind of all over, anywhere you see a hole. And again, kind of like the spray rose, you don't wanna push it too far in. You wanna give it a little bit of air, because that's just how it would naturally grow, and that's kind of how it looks the best. Yeah. So they can poke out a little bit.
And that's like totally like up to your creative thing too. Like I think Liz and I both like stuff to look a little more like garden-y,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to like more compact. But if you like it more compact, then go for it. It's like totally just art, which I think is so fun.
It is. It allows your personality to shine through.
Yeah.
My mom had a garden growing up, and so that's kind of what I always think about when I'm designing, is how they would grow naturally. So that has really influenced the way I design. Forgot I had a little spray rose over here. I love this purple.
I know.
So deep and pretty. Yeah.
Sorry, we're like not talking very much. It's like kind of relaxing, honestly.
It is. I've always said that about floral designs, like even with my friends that don't have any experience, I'm like, it's so therapeutic because flowers are so pretty in and of themselves that it's really hard to make look horrible.
Yeah.
And that way it's almost like, like if you were doing yoga or something where it's just like you and your flowers and you're just relaxing. And so always try to make it a fun, relaxing experience, and don't ever worry about anything looking perfect, because nature itself is not perfect.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Perfect. The last step is our pretty seeded eucalyptus.
It's going to be also used as like a filler, just like our wax flower.
Mm-hmm.
I like to put it kind of close to the bottom.
Yes.
But like one like this that kind of wise out like that is kind of fun to put in the center, because you can kind of manipulate it a little bit to go throughout your flowers.
And I always find that you have little holes like this in between the flowers and the container, and it always looks pretty if you add a little bit of
Filler.
yes.
Yeah, and you can kind of see that too if you like either pick up your thing like Liz did, or if you just like kind of get at eye level with it. That's how we always check our arrangements before they go out the door too, is we just give it a once around and fill in and all that, so that you don't see any of the oasis. My unicorn's gonna have like wild rocking hair.
That's great. I hope some of you get to do this with your kids, because I'm definitely going to be doing one with my daughter later. All kids love unicorns, boys and girls. My son loves it.
What's not to love?
I know. What is not to love?
And again, like you totally don't, like I think I'm done with my greenery. Like, I don't want to do too much.
Yeah.
So if you still have like some left over, don't feel bad. Put it in a little bud vase.
Yeah, in your bathroom.
Yeah.
Make it smell nice.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna do one last check, make sure I don't have any green seeping out, any green foam that is. That way it looks really finished. Okay, so now for the fun part.
Yay.
Let's do the eyelashes first.
Yeah. So I think what you need is this little piece of thing, and it has the little stickies on it.
Little glue dots.
Yeah, the little blue dots. So then I would just put them on the eyelashes first, and then stick it on, so you can kind of see where you're going.
They're even glittery, which is so cute.
I just love it. I love it.
It's funny, I was just thinking, like, you know how they have trendy animals with kids, kind of?
Yeah.
Do you remember what the trendy animals were when you were growing up? Was it just like a bear?
Trendy animal. Oh,
Actually,
actually,
I
I had Care Bears.
Oh,
I know that
yeah.
those are like from the 80s, but they
No.
like made a resurgence when I
Really?
was in like 5th grade. Like you were like not a cool girl if you didn't have like a ton of Care Bears.
Okay, so
I think you can put them either this way or this way if you want your unicorn to be like a little peaceful, sleeping one.
And
Do
so
it this way.
I'm just pulling off the plastic, and you'll see that little adhesive glue dot. Peel it off, and then put it directly on your eyelash, or you can just bring the eyelash directly up to the glue dot, and it should stick on.
Yeah, I was sticking them onto the glue dot and then peeling them off. That seemed to be a little bit easier.
And then we're placing the eyelashes just kind of midway
Yeah.
down, so it looks like a face.
Yeah, like I made this Rose her little like head piece.
I've just noticed like narwhals are trendy, llamas.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you're right.
So I was thinking about that. I was like, I can't really remember anything when I grew up, like in terms
I
of
know.
that.
I mean, like, you know what was really big is like Air Bud was like a really big movie when I was like little, which is a golden retriever.
Yeah.
So maybe Air Bud, I would say.
Okay.
Um,
And Care Bears.
Care Bears.
Gummy bears?
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
Okay.
And I don't know, I have like a lot of dolls. I just have like dolls.
Yeah, dolls are always going to be huge.
A thing. Okay. And then your ears and your horn should have come with this little plastic thing. So it won't go all the way down into your oasis, but it should like just kind of stick in there if you just kind of like find a spot for them and just like kind of arrange it so it balances.
If you want to, you can take this straw and cut it in half, and stick this little guy in there, and that will give it a little bit more of almost like a stem, and it will stick into the foam a tad better.
And then no waste.
Yes.
That is the way to do it.
Yes.
That's the way to do it. That's the new way. Don't do what I said. Oh, there's mine. And then I think the horn should go like in between.
I was thinking about that the other day, like,
In between his ears, right? I like it to be like kind of down and like hidden like that a little bit. It's kind of cute. So if you want to do that, or you can have it stick out more like Liz's, and then that's it. That's
look
your
so
unicorn.
fun.
They're so cute. We'll name them later.
I can't wait to do this with my daughter.
Yeah, it's gonna be so fun. And that's it. And though just remember to you won't be able to see the water line in here if you put water in it before or when you put your oasis in. So just remember to just give it some water like a plant.
And the conditioning packet that is in your workshop, make sure that you put that in because that will help the flowers be preserved and last longer.
Yeah, because it doesn't like your soft water. The flowers don't like your soft water with the salt in them. So I think that's it.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It was so
It
fun.
was so fun. We'll see you guys later.
Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.